That's
Hey
great.
everyone, I'm Miles, your host for Running the Extra Mile. Got a special one today. I am joined by Fed, the guy that created the group Los Lobos that I am a part of. So, we're going to kind of dive into today's topic of how to start kind of a small little running community and all that, and kind of why he did it and what he has for the future. But all right, Fed, if you want to introduce yourself, go ahead.
Yeah, so my name is Fed, originally from the suburbs of Chicago, Arlington Heights, and then we moved out here when I was about 15. So ever since I've been out here in the Rockford area, but since, I mean, I've gotten to know a lot of people, and thanks to you
Mm-hmm.
for the invite, and now we have the run club, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how long ago did you start the group?
Officially, I would say it started as an idea like after Chicago of 22. So started kind of like brainstorming, like it's one of those things where it's like up in the air, it's like all
Mm-hmm.
brainstorming, it's on your phone, like, I want to do this. But officially it started, I would say it kind of started coming together in November of 22, but then I would say officially our debut was around February of 23.
All
That's
right.
when
So
it was
yeah, we
kind of
got
like,
about
yep. So it'll be what, 3 years in February, kind of,
coming
yeah.
up on
Yep.
3 years at
So
this point.
mhm.
About three. So yeah, that's pretty nice. And like you said, it kind of started out as an idea. It's always something like this podcast was just an idea. It's
Right.
like you take a second, you kind of sit back, and you kind of like think like, okay, I have this idea of starting something.
Right.
You kind of start to think like, what should I call it though? So,
Right. That's the
how,
hardest thing for some reason. Like you're
yeah,
like, what do I want to call it? But then it's like that's like the least of your worries. Like,
hmm
but even though it's like you feel like you don't have anything until you have a name.
yeah,
Like, it's like because otherwise you're nameless and you're like, I don't have anything until I have like an official name. But yeah, this is awesome, man. I think I don't even know if we have anything like locally. So it's like, and then the fact that you're part of it, like part of the run crew and stuff,
hmm
like yeah. So
So like, how did you fall on that name, Los Lobos?
um I don't know. It's kind of like an easy and hard question at the same time. I think it's like being like a little bit backstory. Like obviously my family's Mexican. Like we're from Mexico, from Zacatecas, Mexico. So the name itself, I don't even know if it's Spanish. It might be Spanish. I don't know. But Los Lobos. So Los Lobos, for those that don't know, it's either you can translate it as the wolves or like the wolf pack.
hmm
Because it's So ever since like started running and stuff, you kind of like referred back to it. You're running and then like you run in packs, kind of like there's always like some sort of, if you think about it, there's some people can call them groups, but
Yep.
then we call them packs. Like we call them small pack, whatever. Like to us, like everybody in our club is part of the pack, like
Yeah.
the big pack. So I think when we were running, I think it's like we always stuck together, kind of like the immediate group of friends. Like there's a big group, but then you have
hmm
like your small pack you stick with. So I don't know. I was just kind of thinking of the name, and it was the Veterans 5K thing where we just kind of like we're like, hey, who's running it, blah blah blah, and then we met up in the parking lot, and it was just like a small group of us. But after that day, it kind of like resonated to me, kind of just like, I don't know, what if we just call it like Los Lobos, and like you see some other run clubs out there, like some other like animal names, like
Yeah.
Bravos and stuff like that. And I think not that we were copying them or anything, but it was just kind of like, I think we can name it some sort of an animal too, and then
Yeah.
just to like think about it, okay, like, well, if they ask you like, how would you like define it, or how would you like, I don't know, say it's why would you say Los Lobos? So I think
Yeah,
that's why,
and that's the nice thing. Like whenever I tell people that I'm part of Los Lobos, it's like I don't really like explain it. It's like there's Fleet Feet Running Club, like there's groups and all that where they're kind of like we're more of a club, we're more of a
right,
group. It's like it kind of like stuck with me. Like you kind of realize once you join it, it's like you don't really think about it much,
right,
but after a while you start just saying, "Oh yeah, we're like a pack of runners and all
yep,
that," and you kind of just realize you're like, yeah, kind of like it sounds nice actually. It's like it's a little bit of a different thing. It's like
mm-hmm,
it's we all run different paces and all that. We
right,
all kind of make our little small groups
mm-hmm,
and stuff like
yep,
that. It's like there's the big whole pack, like we
right,
all fall under the name
right,
Los Lobos, but we all have our little
right.
mini pack where we run with friends and all that.
Right. And that's why too, because like, I'm thinking the bigger picture, like yes, our group runs are here in the Rockford area or whatever surrounding, Belvedere, all that Roscoe, all that stuff. But in the bigger picture, I mean, we have so many small packs
Mhm.
in the suburbs, Chicago, all that stuff. And it's nice when you do all these big races or whatever out there, and like all the small packs come together, like,
Mhm.
so it's like, so it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I think now that I've seen it like evolve into this, like it's pretty cool to see that, but
Yeah, and for sure. And like the nice thing is like the welcoming to the whole thing too. It's like when you hear like nature stuff and all that, like wolves and stuff like that, like
right,
packs are so like territorial
right,
in a
right,
sense. But like the fact it's like it's the wolves and all that,
right,
and you think
right,
like, oh, big bad wolf and
right,
all
right,
that.
right,
You
yeah,
like all like wolf is usually the term for someone like
right,
a territorial person, like big bad and all that, but it's like the welcoming of like the group is so nice too. It's like
right,
I was dealing with the collapse lung. I got back and was like, you know what, I kind of just want to find a group of people to run
right,
with. And like someone mentioned Los Lobos, and I was like, let me check it out and all that. And
yeah.
what I was surprised, like I got welcomed in so fast, and the fact
And
that
you know what? I'm gonna interrupt you. I remember like when you first, like, I think
I showed up on a
you
demo
were
night. It was a
you showed
demo
up at a demo,
night.
and I remember I think you said like somebody rejected my request. Remember you were telling me that
Oh no, I think I
they
was still trying to get into
are
it.
trying
It
to get
was
into it.
I was
Remember,
like, oh
like
yeah, I did it, and I was
yeah,
just like,
we thought it was like a scam, like why would it's a weird, strange name, like but yeah, so
yeah, no,
yeah,
I was like, you were always busy, and like it was like I or like you like mentioned the Facebook thing. I was like, oh yeah, I did a request. I'm still waiting to get part.
right. And
I'm
then I was like,
still
oh
waiting
my
to get
god,
into it though.
yeah,
I
so
was like, I was still kind of just looking around, but I wasn't expecting to like it was nice being welcomed in and like it's like yeah my pace may have been a lot faster than the group and all that but it
right,
became something where it was like they didn't everyone was welcoming like everyone immediately was started making jokes with me and being like oh there's Miles the
right,
fast one
right, right, right,
like
yeah,
who's going to be Miles today who's going
right,
to do this and it
yeah,
was so fun like how quick I became a part of the group and actually like started doing stuff like I wasn't expecting to like for a while there I was helping with the social media and stuff
right,
like that. I wasn't expect I started doing like you were wanting to do like a race team and it was kind of like once I showed up you kind of like you said you're kind of sitting there starting the group
yeah,
and you're like it's something on your phone and all that
right,
and
yeah,
like I showed up and it was kind of that like
yeah,
push over the edge where you're
yeah.
like
It's like the aha moment, like it's
it's like
yeah,
oh my gosh
yeah,
it's starting the ball starting to
yeah,
roll again and
hmm,
it's just it was
yeah,
so cool like how quick and like amazing it
yeah,
happened. I was like wasn't expecting that.
yeah. No, it's crazy. Like you said, it's always like, and I think behind the name too, like back to it, like Los Lobos running crew. Like I
Hmm.
think, like, to me, I could have put, Los Lobos running club. But to me, once you like, I mean, and this is like totally just me, right? It's
Hmm.
probably just me over analyzing things. Like, I think when you think of a club, it's almost like you think of something else a little bit different than just like a crew. Like a crew is almost like I think it's a little bit more open and a little bit
Hmm.
more welcoming to me, and especially with like those levels and stuff, because we try. I mean, we really try to be really inclusive to runners, like fast people like
Hmm.
you and like slow people like me, and then people that just want to start out and maybe just run walkers, and like and it's been amazing to like see a lot of like new runners, like they've
Hmm.
come out, and we've had a couple people like perfect example. I mean, just to share a quick story, we had a runner, I think it was like 2 years ago. She came out to a Rock Valley run, and she's like, yeah, I've been trying to run and whatever, and like I've never done a 5K and whatever. So at Rock Valley, it's a community college here in town for those that don't know.
Hmm.
But so yeah, we were running, and then I mean, usually our runs, we try to do a little bit over 3 miles. Like usually for our Thursday runs, we try not to do anything like too crazy, just to like have the social
Yeah.
aspect after. But yeah, we were running, and then I think we were at like, I want to say a little bit under 4 miles. And then hey, how are you doing? And then she's like, oh, I'm doing good. And I was like, how far do you think we are? Like, and then she's like, oh, I don't even know. I was like, and I'm like, you realize like we passed the 3.1 mile mark, you know? She's like, no way. And she's like super excited. So
Yeah.
it's like unofficially she did her first 5K without even realizing it.
Hmm.
But I think it's because she was running with somebody. Like, we try to stick together with whoever, like.
Well, yeah, and like going off that crew, it's like a lot of groups make their name. It's like race team, like there's running club and all that.
Right.
And it's kind of like, it's something where it's like this, but like as a crew, it's like we all kind of come together and like we're
Right.
all different levels, but
Right.
like on the social media and in the
Mhm.
group chats that we have, depending on like who's doing what, it's like every like someone will ask a question and you'll have like every different level of a runner
Oh yeah, for
be
sure.
like, here's what I've experienced,
Right.
here's what I've
Right.
experienced. It's like you get a versatile like
Right.
response of like people that are just like all like keep up the great work, like here, try this, this is what I've experienced. And then
Yeah.
like it doesn't matter what level of a runner, like everyone is just like, here's what I expected. It's like
Mhm.
I've gone on a few times, it's like, yeah, I may be one of the faster people in the group, but I'm like someone that's
You still have
I'm
questions,
like
like you still, yeah,
I
yeah,
still have a response to
right,
someone. I'm like,
right,
yeah, it's like I may do this way, but you can easily tailor what I
right,
do
right,
to fit your
yeah,
needs and personality. And like people are always just like, oh my gosh, yeah, that helps so much. Like
right,
thank you and stuff like that. It's
yeah,
like we're a crew, like we're working
right,
together
right,
to do it. Like we're a pack, we're all
hmm,
together, we're all like making sure we're all healthy, like
yeah,
making sure we're doing stuff correctly.
yep. And the goal is to keep that culture. Like it's just like keep that culture, and hopefully it never changes. And
Hmm.
that's my goal,
Yeah.
to never have it change. And the day that it does, then that's when try to like not fix things, but try to like make it back to what the reason why we started this.
Yeah,
So
and kind of going back to this, like kind of getting a question here is like you started this, and again, like you started this group, and it was kind of something on your phone and all that, and we've kind of been talking about how it's grown and all that. It's like, did you expect this? Like, what were you like once you kind of got it started, and you're like, you know what, this is a thing now. It's like, where did you expect it to go? Like, as someone that's like never done this, that just went out on a whim, like, what did you expect from it? Like,
yeah, to be completely honest, no. Like I never thought it would ever be this big, and I'm not talking like over huge, but I mean it's grown quite a bit,
mhm,
you know. So no, I never thought it would have gotten this big. I thought maybe we'll just I don't know. Let's give it I don't know a year and kind of see where it goes, and if it doesn't work out, then I'm totally okay with that. Like I'll
yeah,
be like I'll just go back to my running ways. I'll just join some other club or run on my own, whatever. But yeah, no, I mean, I never thought it would have evolved this big, and right now it's like I said, it's really cool. Back to like the name and just like the small packs and stuff. I mean, we have runners that we've met through either big races, marathons, and all
mhm,
that stuff. I mean, we have runners from like Tampa. From Tampa, we have runners like Texas, and like it might be just a couple runs, but to me like that's a big thing. Like like they wanted to be part of the pack, and like when they go out there, I mean we have somebody in Georgia, and like she still like goes out there, she still wears
yeah,
her singlet, and like she posts in the group, and that's really cool to me. Like it's just like to see that they're out there and they're enjoying like wearing their singlets, and just you don't have to wear your singlet to be like to prove me anything. It's just
yeah,
for you to be like part of the group, and like to like relate to it and say like you're part of something. Like it's just really cool. Even just to be in Chicago and like tag us or mention us in your stories that you're part of the pack. And like to me, like being part of the pack is like if you want to be part of the pack, you are part of the pack. Like it's not like, oh well, prove to me that you can run a 5K, prove to me that you can run, I don't know, an 11-minute mile pace.
mhm.
Like that's not, I don't need that. Like nobody needs that. It's like you want to be part of the pack, then there you go, you're just part of the pack, and we'll welcome you in, and there's a home for you as long as you want it.
Yeah,
So
and that was, it's like that's a cool thing. It's like this is awesome that you just were like it's grown so big. It's like
yeah,
you said, you got people from all over the place,
yeah,
and it's like we may be based in the Rockford area,
right,
but it's like you have such a big following in the Chicago area
right,
also, where it's like we call ourselves a pack, and it's like you've been wanting to kind of try and branch out to get a pack out in the Chicago
mm-hmm,
area, and so it's kind of cool how it's growing into something where it's like, yeah, it may have originated in Rockford,
right,
but like there's small people, there's small groups forming around in other states, other
right,
cities that are like, it's like they meet once and they hear about the story and all
right,
that, and they're like, I want to represent you
right,
down here in this
yeah,
area, and like they get a following, and like they wear the singlet. It's like it's
yeah,
awesome how they just, it's just a word at the moment. Like
right,
it's nothing fancy. It's just the
right.
name of the group.
It's
It's like
just
it's
the
a
name of
cool
it, yeah,
design, but
and
they see it and they're like,
yeah,
what's that? It's like
yeah,
that's all it
and
takes is just one person to catch on, and then it
right.
becomes a big thing.
And the funny thing is, like, as soon as like a lot of people, like, sometimes when we go out of town and stuff, they see the name Los Lobos. And for those of you that know music and stuff, like there's the band, like Los Lobos, so they were like, oh my God, like you guys are running or whatever. And we're like, no, this is like the run club, I guess, like the running crew, so it had that happen where it's pretty funny, like, but it's just, it's cool to see that. But yeah, so no, back to your question. I mean, no, I never thought it would have grown this big, but I mean, I'm grateful. Like, it's a blessing to be able to
Mm-hmm.
run, and to be able to bring people together like this. Like, it's amazing to see that.
And yeah, and like again, it's like many people want to do something like that, and they're just too afraid to do it.
Right.
And you took the jump, you took the next step, you went the extra
Mhm.
mile,
Yeah.
you went the extra
Yeah.
mile, and you
There
tried
you
it.
go. See.
Yeah, you tried it, and it's like you didn't expect it to get this big, but
Yeah.
as it was growing, what were some kind of struggles that you noticed to kind of keep the momentum going?
I think probably insecurity, kind of. I would say that's a big one. Kind of like back to what we were saying. Like, just it starts as an idea. It's almost like you're just insecure as to like where to go about it. Like obviously, it's hard to start something and keep something. Like, anybody can start
Mm-hmm.
something, but to keep it, that's the main thing. Like, if you start something and you really want it, then you gotta like figure out a way to like to keep this going. So for me, it was almost like, what are people going to say? Like, am I good enough to lead something like this? Like, I don't have the resources to like grow anything big, um, but luckily, I mean, I've been able to connect with um, a lot of running stores. Like, shout out to like Fleet Feet. Obviously, like you're
Yeah.
part of the Fleet Feet team. To Dave Zimmer. You know, Naper Running Company, Kara, all those big guys. Like, just been able to like create this friendship too, that it's really cool. And honestly, like it just helps you like remember why you're doing it. Like, just even though like we all have our own run stuff, like we can still manage to like
Mm-hmm.
be friends. Like it's running is like a gift. Like I
Yeah.
told you, and like it's people sometimes forget about that. It's like running is it's a gift. It's something that we should not take for granted. Like, so I think it's just being able to create those friendships and stuff. Like, obviously, it really does help because, whether I might not know something. So I asked these guys, like, I've gone to Dave a couple times and I've gone to, friend James at Kira, like, hey, can you help me with this? Or what do you think about this? And like, even at Neighborhood Running Company, like to yeah, you just ask them questions and everybody's so nice that it's the community just that help they help you grow,
Yeah.
and it's really
Uh,
cool to see that, like
yeah, and like the running community is such a big thing, and like people, it's amazing. It doesn't, again, all different levels of people, all different experience and stuff like that, that just come together and
right,
just want to have fun. Like it
right,
doesn't matter, like as long as you just put the effort in,
right,
like no one's gonna
right,
judge you for it or
right.
something like that, and it's super cool. And so it's like we kind of covered, like you kind of took the leap, you started the club, it like some of the struggles and stuff like that. Something that we kind of mentioned is like the race team. Like again, that was something that you were. When did you first kind of start considering wanting to do a race team under the name Los Lobos?
Yeah, I think once we started having, people that were faster and stuff like that, I think it's just you see some other race teams and it's another idea that comes up.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just like it sprouts, But obviously, you're like, how do I try to incorporate it? And even to us, I mean, you're part of it,
Mm-hmm.
So to us, it's still like a learning curve. Like
Yeah.
it's not like an official that you would say like even this whole club. It's nothing registered. Like it's nothing. It's just kind
Yeah.
of like a group of friends that we just call ourselves Los Lobos running crew. Like it's just like it's nothing like that, But yeah, I would say maybe about a year. I would say about a year, a bit over a year is when I'm like, yeah, it'd be kind of really cool to like get these guys that like these fast guys that like want to do something and just let's see what comes out of it. Like, obviously it's
Mm-hmm.
still, last year we kind of started it a little bit later in the year. So that's why, I think we're trying to see how it kind of evolves a little bit within the small group that we have. And
Yeah.
then once it's, we have something sort of a stronger base, then hopefully start growing it a little bit more before we start like bringing in more people, and then now you don't know what now you
Yeah,
don't know what to do with this like
you don't know
race
what
team
to
that
do.
we
Yeah,
have,
you don't
like,
know what
you
to do
know.
with it. And I mean, like I'm part of it and all that. And we had
Yeah,
a meeting not too long ago, kind of
yeah,
talking about it. But we kind of made our debut last year at
yeah,
the Quad Cities.
yeah,
Like it was kind of interesting. We were like, you know what, it was awesome. Like, yeah, we had a race team
yeah.
represented there, but we also had three other
Right.
teams. We had
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 other teams
Yeah, we
there,
had
race team, and
four
then
teams. We
four
had
teams. So
four
yeah,
teams total. So
so
um, three teams, and then we had the race team. You know,
so we had the race team, and like it was kind of cool. I mean, like it didn't go 100% as planned as that.
right.
Again, we had a bunch of people playing like training for the
Yeah.
Chicago Marathon coming up, and one of our legs like she was dealing with a little bit of pain. So we were kind of like, well, we're going to be smart here. And like, you got your Chicago half, which is like more important
Yeah.
because that's not
Yeah,
Chicago
for the
half, the
bigger
Chicago
picture. Yeah.
Marathon. It's like, that's the bigger
Yeah.
picture for you at the moment. It's like, you're part of the race team, but it's like, this is what you
Yeah,
started
this is your
first. Like,
body.
this is what you
For
wanted to do
sure.
first. So
Yeah.
we're going to be smart and
Yeah.
we're going to focus on that. So we might have dropped down a leg,
Right.
but our team, it's like, we ended up
So what was
surprise
it
like
like?
we had we had 4 people. Our first leg ended up having to do 10 miles. Shout out to Francisco for actually putting in that work to do it, but we ended up like putting in that work, and we ended up crossing the finish line like 3 hours and like 17
Can't remember the
minutes.
exact
It was
time.
like we were so close to where it's like, to the fact that we were down a person,
Right.
one ran 10, the fact that our team came out there still and put almost, we could have, like, if we had done it, like, holy smokes, we could have broken 3 hours right there as a team doing it. It's in the cross the finish line, like, we got the cross as a team and all that. We got the Los Lobos race team sing it on, and the director of the race just goes, I like that singlet. Where can I get one?
Yeah,
And he
and
just
shout out to Joe Marino with the
like
Quad Cities
he
race.
was immediately
Yeah.
like interested. Like it was our debut. No one. It's like the
Yeah.
pack was there. There were so many of us
Yeah.
there, but like it was the first time that we were showing off the race team,
Yeah.
like singlet and all that, and doing something, and to immediately be like recognized by a race director and
Right.
being like, that's a cool thing. How do I like?
Yeah.
How do I be a part of it? It was just like, holy smokes, this can go somewhere. And our team ended up getting, let's see, we got 4th overall, I think, and then we got 2nd for the male
Yeah,
group.
we did
So it
good.
was like the fact that we just went out there and crushed
Not
a
even
day,
expecting
not
that.
even
Not even like,
not
yeah.
even expecting it, just to have
Right.
fun,
Right.
like and all that, like to crush it and just be like that. It was like, where do we go now? Like, what do we do next?
Yeah.
Like, how do we do this? Like,
Right.
it kind of set a fire. We're like, okay, cool. Like, let's like
It leaves that
all
itch, you know, like, okay,
it leaves
now
that
we
itch.
can
Like,
like,
okay,
you know,
cool. And
yeah.
like every group
Yeah.
did good, and like
Yeah.
it didn't matter if you were wearing the race team or the Los Lobos, like just a Los Lobos singlet. Like
Yeah.
everyone did good and all that, and it didn't matter that we were wearing a different one.
Right.
The whole group did good, but it was so cool that again you took the leap
Right.
with like, I'm gonna let's take the next step with it, and it paid off big
Right.
time to
Right.
where it's like, well, shoot, like
Yeah.
we have a list now of races where we're like, it doesn't even matter if like the whole team can get out there.
Right.
In a sense, it's
Yeah.
like, as long as we can get someone that's representing it
Right.
out there is awesome. It's
Yeah.
like, I'm doing the Chicago half this year, and so it's like I'm going to be representing the Los Lobos team. It's like I got the regular one, but it's like I'm gonna put that race one on
Right.
instead too, because I'm gonna be like, I want
Yeah,
to
just,
show
you
that
know, you're
I'm.
feeling like racing.
It's like
Like,
I'm
you
like
know,
I'm
just
gonna
like,
show
yeah.
this off. It's
Right.
like
Yeah.
I'll wear the shirt to like
Yeah.
warm up and stuff like that, and it's just cool being able to like represent this team and be like, this is, I'm on the line. It's like for myself, but I'm also
Yeah.
here representing this cool group that's put me
Right.
here.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, it's just, you know, it's something that's really kind of developing, just kind of unraveling itself, and just kind of see how it goes. And, you know, eventually, you know, we are going to open it up to like, you know, whoever kind of wants to go in there and have that step up where they're
Yeah.
like, I feel like now I kind of want to have some PRs. I kind of want to have
It-
a little bit more of a racing feel. Like, it's just like, it's
yeah,
no
it's
different.
like
Everybody's still part of
yeah,
the
we're
same group. It's just like, you know, and it's not because it's you're the race team and now we're the club. It's like everybody's still part of it.
I know, and
you
like
know?
that's kind of, it's like, it's nice. It's like, yeah, we may be wearing a different singlet, but we're not trying to like discriminate anyone from it. And like, yeah, that's your whole goal. Like, you are trying to make sure that it's like, it still says Los Lobos on it. It's nothing different. It's like, we're not. It's like we're still getting the ball rolling. It's like, if you want your shot. It's like when I was assistant coaching at Guilford High School, it's like we may have had our top 5 runners, and it's like, okay, these guys are for sure going to be representing us at conference, at regionals, and at state. It's like you get to only send those top runners at that point. It's like, yeah, we may have these top guys, but there's 2 open spots for it. And our coach was always like, our coach, the way he did it is you may have a faster time, but he was still fair about it. He was like, if you put the work in and you did this, he's going to give you the shot. It's like you're not like, it's not like I'm here. I'm here. It's like you need to be this. You need this. You need to be. It's like I'm going to put you in here. You're going to have to pay. It's going to have to pay off. It's like you're like, no. It's like we're starting out small, seeing where it goes, and we're giving people their shot to have fun. And it's like, doesn't matter what time you put down, as long as you're out there having fun and proud to be wearing the singlet, then we don't care.
Yep, and we're not sponsored by anybody and stuff like that. It's just a lot of the connections that I've made throughout, the couple of years. So it's like, we have most of the brands like sponsor something, which shout out to all of them, out there. It's like if I start listing, I'm probably gonna miss one. So they all know who they are. Like, they all know who they are, and they got us to this Quad City. It was actually kind of like the Bix is where a couple other runners, they made it out there, and the Bix in Davenport, Iowa, and the Quad Cities. That was one of the main ones where, like, man, it was just, we started off a little bit later in the year, and we managed to make it work for the Bix, where we had our singlets, we had, just your race kit, and everybody was able to make it out there with the race team who wanted to race it out there. But yeah, it's just like I said, we're not sponsored, but it's really cool to see that part of the community where they decided, that they wanted to give something to the race team, and like they're like, hey, just like represent our brand out there, and it's just really cool to see that, because we're all in it for the same thing, same thing as these brands, these stores, and retail people. Like, where we need them and they need us too, like to get everything out there. So
yeah, and it's like, yeah, we may have gotten gifted some stuff and all that, but it's not to say like to catch attention and all that. Eventually, maybe a sponsorship could come across and all that, and it's like you're open to ideas and all that. But again, it's like, it's just, we're slowly getting there. And kind of going back to the whole thing, it's like today was the Boston Marathon, and we had a few people out there that were running it that are part of the pack, and one of the guys, Carson, who's a buddy of mine from high school and all that joined the group and all that, who I want to eventually interview also, that does marathons. It's like he could have gone out there and wear any singlet and chosen any gear that he wanted to wear, and the fact that he was like, I'm gonna represent Los Lobos out here. Like, he went there on his own. Like, he put the effort in, he qualified for it, which is like, shout out to you, like, awesome job for doing that. Like, you qualified for the Boston, which is awesome. But the fact that you were then like, I'm here on my own terms, I'm here on my stuff, like, I'm here because I got here, but to then be like, I'm gonna represent this group. Like, it's like they didn't pay for anything. Like, it's like we didn't like send him there. It's like he was just like, I'm gonna wear this. Like, he last year, I think he wore at the Chicago one. At the Chicago one, he did a charity, which is like, okay,
he was still part of.
he was doing the charity. Yeah, he was doing the charity. But before that, I think he just wore like a Chicago singlet. I think he just was like out there in random gear and all that. But this year, to be like, I'm gonna represent this group. Like,
and we never require anybody to wear anything. Like, you can wear whatever you want. Like, just because you wear something else doesn't mean you're part of the club. But I mean, we obviously, like, and everybody knows that. Like, like, you try to have this merchandise to like represent your club. It's more for your representation. Like, it's like perfect example. Like, you go out to, like, for those that run like the big races, any other race, but just an example, like the Chicago races, like the marathon. This past year was our first Chicago Marathon to run as like Los Lobos, like an official group, and just to see the singlets out there, and like, people were like, man, like, you see all these cheer squads and everybody kind of like yelling the name, and it's amazing to hear that. But again, like, we never require, it's not a requirement, it's never like you must do this, but it's just like, just that's for you guys to like, just feel. It's a little bit different when you like somebody recognizes you because, like, oh, like your name, or like, some people like to wear their names on their shirts, like, or just now, like, you have your singlet, and if you want to wear it, wear it. But like you said, yeah, Carson wanted to go out there and represent it, and just like such a big race like that, like it's crazy, But so again, did I ever think it was gonna get out there? Like I myself will probably never qualify. I'll probably have to be like 102 or something to even run walk this,
Yeah.
But yeah, so I myself wouldn't have ever made it to do the Boston, but our runners can, like just
Yep.
like all these people, like just we have a lot of people that do triathlons. We have a lot of trail runners, ultra runners, Ironmans. Just I myself probably as of now, the longest this is the marathon. Like I just I yeah, but yeah, so it's just crazy to see how it's evolved, where we have all these runners and they still part of the pack, and but yeah.
Pretty nice thing. Well, it's getting a little dark out here in
Yeah.
Rockford area, so I'm gonna quickly turn on a light here so we're not just shadows at some point.
There you go.
But kind of seeing where this group has evolved into and all. Again, it's like, what do you think the future has for Los Lobos? Like, you've been around for a few years now, but what are we kind of thinking for the future now? Like, where do
Yeah.
you want to be at some point?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, just to keep what we have. My goal is to like keep you, like
Hmm.
not keep you, but you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
just not make you want to come and then like leave because of something that we did or something that you saw or something that you heard. Like our goal is to like keep you and have you always feel like part of the pack.
Yeah.
So eventually like keep having the space and just grow from it. Like with me, it's like I love the gradual growth that we've had. Like I don't want to have something where like it starts off and like sprouts within like the next month or two, and then after that, then it just like people are like, well, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. Like it's just something that I wanted to keep growing, and eventually, like years down the road, at least have it be a cool memory for everybody to like look back into. Like I was part of, this run club that just included me and whatever. And if one day it falls apart, then it falls apart. Like it's no,
Yeah.
nothing like that. But just keep growing on what we have. Just like yeah, it's a big leap to kind of get to where you're at. So it takes a lot of moves, it takes a lot of decisions, a lot of you're put in uncomfortable situations. But at the end of the day, as long as your intentions are good and you kind of know that your reason why you're doing this, like it's kind of like it's still hard.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
still hard to like
yeah,
keep it going, and
yeah,
it's like um eventually it's like down the road everyone's going to get to a point where
yep,
like running is going to kind of become where it's like I can no longer really do it.
right,
It's like, I mean, at any age, there it's Tom Baker is his
yep.
last name.
Mm-hmm.
How I don't
True
even know.
friend.
I don't know how old is he again. Do you
Yeah,
know?
I don't know what his
He
exact number is.
all I know is that he. It doesn't matter what age you're at.
Yeah,
He is an old timer
yeah.
on the group that
And he's such a role model to everybody.
such a role
Like
model. Like
just to see him out there.
even when he's injured, he's out
Yep,
there. He had a
yep,
brace on and
yep,
was running, and we're just like,
yep. He had a
hey
couple
man,
setbacks. Yeah,
hey man, like
yeah.
we love that you're out here, but make sure you're putting your health first and all
Right,
that.
right.
But
Yeah,
again,
yeah,
like eventually that's gonna
yeah,
come to a point where
yeah.
someone's not like you're not gonna be maybe able to run. Like, are you looking to eventually like pass the torch on to someone else to lead the pack, or what are you kind of like? I'm
Good.
going really far in the
Right, you're
future at
going
this
really far.
point. I'm going real far, but is it something where it's
Right.
like you're
Yeah,
kind of like my dad's part of my art group and all that, and
yeah,
it's like it's a small group of three
yeah.
guys that are all in their older
Mm,
age, have kids and stuff like that, and like eventually it's like this art group's going to have to either we got to find maybe someone to keep it going, or
mm-hmm.
it's just like this art group has lasted our lifetime
Right.
and now we're done. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
is it something where you're maybe like, even after your time of running, where you're going to be
Yeah.
like, I hope this still continues, like kind of see if someone is willing to pick up,
Right.
like,
And even I mean, even before that, like, what if I move? What if I
yeah.
like go somewhere else? Like, is it like you like to what you're asking? Is it something that I've thought about? Like, I thought about it. Like, what would happen if the day that I'm not here or whatever? Like, So yeah, definitely. I mean, if there's somebody, the right person at the right time, the right circumstances that wants to, if I one day I get to the point where I can't run or I can't lead this group, like yeah, of course, have somebody, take on the
Mm-hmm.
group and just kind of do whatever we've been doing and hopefully maintain the group together, you know. But I think it's for now. I mean, you just kind of try not to think about that. But
Yeah, I
but
get.
yeah, but
Yeah,
you know,
it's
I
like
get
I didn't
that
want to
bigger
put you on a
picture. Yeah,
spot, but I'm just like, it's
yeah.
such a
No, it's
cool
just
thing where it's like sometimes you kind of take
yeah,
a step back and
yeah,
you're like, is this something where it's like,
yeah,
yeah, I took the step, I took the leap, but it's like at
yeah,
some point, it's like, you know what, this might just
yeah,
be at once I hit this point, it's like
yeah,
either it's gonna kind of phase out, or am I hoping that someone steps up and all that? It's like
yeah,
the race team, it's like you've formed that and like you've been doing a lot yourself leading it, but you've
mhm,
had a bunch of help in the
yeah,
background that like
yeah.
many
You
people
have to
don't
shout out to all the leads
like a
and
lot of people don't
yeah,
realize the amount of help that goes on in the background. It's
yeah,
like I was like many people didn't realize like I was in the
yeah. The
background
social
for
media,
social media for a
yeah,
while. Like I kind of like helped for a bit, and then it
yeah,
eventually kind of became a little bit like too much for me. And I was just like, it's like yeah, it's like I'm still part of the group, but it's
right.
just like I gotta kind of take a
No,
step
you
back
step
and do
back
this,
and
but I'm still helping
that's what's
around,
gonna happen.
and
Like
like
you
I'm
know,
still helping around with
mhm,
other stuff. It's
mhm,
like Rick took the initiative yeah
initiative.
initiative to get a coach is to try and get his coaching license
Mhm,
to be the
yeah,
coach for the race team. It's like he's a
mhm,
runner himself, but he's like
yeah,
he's taking the next step where he's putting the group like
yeah,
it's like he didn't have to do that, but
right,
he's just like he loves the group so much that
mhm,
he's like I'm gonna do this for the group. It's like
mhm,
it's amazing how big this pack has gone
yeah.
to
And
where
like
everyone
again,
is
you
like
know,
that.
it's just
It's like you're not even
yeah,
asking people to
right,
do that. It's like it's
right,
amazing how
right,
big this.
yeah. And it would never be possible without all the leads that have helped me with, you know, the Thursday runs, like, you know, the Tuesday runs, the Saturday runs, like, you know, some of the recovery runs, all those, like, um, yeah, it would have never been possible because otherwise, like, I myself, I can't be there at all
Hmm.
times. Like, you know, as much as I want to, like, for my own sanity, probably, like, sometimes I have to step back and just
Yeah.
kind of like let it all evolve. Like, let it all evolve. Like, you know, everybody knows that I'm there for whatever they need, you know, just if one day they need, like, hey, I need a you know, just I need a T-shirt or I need like, hey, like where are you running or you know, just questions like anything. Like,
Hmm.
you know, they all, you know, I hope they all know that I'm still there. I might not be there physically, but they know where to find me, and I hope they still find me as a resource. Like
Yeah.
that whenever they keep running, like if they end up moving, like and they come out or they, you know, we go out there and just like, you know, just know that. I mean, the pack is I don't know if we'll ever say like it'll ever fade. Like I think the pack will always be the pack,
Yeah.
and you'll always be part of the pack. So as long as like you keep running, even if you move, even if you go somewhere else, or you know, just you'll always be part of the pack as long as you want to be part of the pack.
Yep.
You know, just
Because
so
yeah, I'm currently like I finally am now doing college running at Rockford University
yeah,
and stuff like that, and it's like
yeah, perfect
it's
example.
like
Like yeah,
I'm not able to get out to every
yeah,
single run and all
yeah,
that, but it's like I'm still try I still try to engage as much as possible on the social media.
mm-hmm.
Like I may not text as much and stuff like that in the group chat and all,
Right.
but it's like
And a lot of people
and
don't,
it's like a
you
lot of
know,
people don't. Like a lot of people
and
just
that's
kind of a
okay
lot of people
because
just kind of
yeah,
sit there
yeah,
and like
they just go
it's
to
like
the
they
runs, they
just go to the
show up,
runs and they
and
show up and it's like it's such a cool thing where it's like you're not required to do much. It's like you're not
mm-hmm.
required to do this, but it's like I'm still proud to be like, oh, I'm part of
Yeah,
Los Lobos.
yeah.
It's
And
so,
that's why that's our job, like for the
mhm.
ones that lead the runs, to keep that momentum. Because
Yep.
otherwise, once you lose it, like people are like, oh, "Why am I part of this?" Like, there's nothing for me. Like, you
Hmm.
know, like I mean, we not might not be the biggest group out there, but we try to like be inclusive for everybody, and like you know, like people run at their own times whenever they can, and you know, if it works for you and your small packs, then that's totally okay. Like it's like
Hmm.
you know, just like I said, for me, I work in healthcare. Like I work, you know, a regular like 8 to 5 kind of a job, you know. So for me, I can't always like be there for that. But if you guys are able to make it work, then go right ahead. Like it's
Hmm.
just like, you know, some people are retired or some have different hours where they can work from home or all like that stuff. You know, if you're just able to make it work, then go right ahead. Like, you know, just like it's
Well, yeah,
represent
it's like I
your
mean, you have your like Thirsty Thursday where we get
mm-hmm.
together and like, but
Yep.
every
And that's
once in
where
a
it all
while,
started,
and
you
like
know,
that's where
just
it starts. But like
yeah,
every once in a while, we've thrown a twist where like you may not be able to get there, or
yep,
like the weather might be something
yep,
different, and we're like, oh, let's do a different. Like
right.
during the summer, I threw out that idea with
Ice
dairy
cream
like the ice
for
cream like at Dairy
yeah,
Depot. Like it may not have gone
right.
as good as I wanted it to, and
But you know what? At the end
I'm
of the day,
not
like
pushing
right.
blame on Rick, but the map was not what I had shown him. But it
But you
was,
know what? At the end of the day, it's
it,
like you know, for us, like being like, if you're really there for what it is, like those are minor things. Like
yeah.
you know, we got there, we were able to meet up, and people stayed after for ice
People
cream.
say
Like you
like,
know,
it
just
was
like
something
yeah,
fun.
maybe
Like it's
yeah,
like we
yeah,
changed it up just based on
yeah,
like what it was and
yeah,
all that, and like it was something nice where I kind of sat back and I was like, hey, there's a local like ice cream parlor. The weather's getting nice and all that. There's like the Rockford symbol and all that. It's like, let's try and get it. And I was nervous like pitching this idea to you. I remember
Trust me, I still get nervous every time I beat up. I'm like, I'm telling you, like we were talking, like if I don't write these things down, it's just like you get carried away, you start talking to people, and then you're like, okay, it's 6:05, 6:08, and then you're like, what was I gonna say? Like, what was I had all these announcements, like all these like just but yeah, so same thing with you. Like it's just like it's to me, it's still like I've never been like a public speaker, and like I come from a background where like just totally off topic, but back in high school, like like I said, I was from the suburbs, and I came to the Belvedere area, and it's just like it's a big small town, I guess you would say. So I was always like, just full disclosure, and I'm not ashamed of it. I was always that kid that sat alone at lunch. Like I
Yeah.
was literally that kid. Like so I think that's where I think part of that name too, just to somewhat like finally be something that you weren't able to pull off when you were younger. Like I think that's what probably like made me change. Like I think it's just like you kind of mature up and you think about that stuff. But when I was that loner kid, and like I finished my last class and I went home. That's all I did.
Yep.
So just kind of bringing that into the group and just yeah, it is but
Yeah, I mean, like, we do it. It's like there's the coach's corner now in Belvedere. Like that's like where we kind of do. It's like it's amazing how like we may come the run, and like some people may just show up to
right,
like do the run,
right,
but then again support a local business. Like the
exactly,
fact that we take up a few tables and
yeah,
like it's just super
yeah,
fun. Like they do the bingo stuff and all that, and
yeah,
it's always just fun where it's like even after the run, it's like, yeah, some of
yeah,
us may have stuff that we have to get back
right,
to, or some of us are just like, oh, I'm just here for the run. But the fact that we all can then go sit
right,
down and like have a
right,
conversation about other stuff
right,
besides running. Like we
right,
may be talking, we may all
right,
be like standing out in the parking lot talking about running and
right,
being like looking like nerds and all that like
right,
that. But the moment we're done, it's like we're just ordinary
yeah,
people again. It's like we're just a group of friends now
yeah.
sitting down to have fun.
Yeah, especially now in the summer. I mean, in the winter for the last 2 seasons, we've kind of established that like Prairie Street just because it's a big enough of a place that can have some indoor bathrooms, and we all know kind of like when you have these runs, like it's nice, especially in the winter, to like not have to sit in your car for like 15 minutes to wait for everybody else to show up, and just kind of like you're all shivering and like, yeah, where's everybody at? What time do we start? So it's like it's been nice to establish it in the winter, and the path is really easy for everybody to just kind of go out and back, and if you want to add mileage, then you can. But
Mm-hmm.
now in the summer, even last summer we did too, where we kind of like flopped around. Um, Different restaurants, and I'm all about my food. I run to eat, like it's just me, like so it's always nice to revolve them around some food, some drink place, but just to get that social aspect, because yeah, we're running, and after the run, and everybody, if you don't, people just tend to go home, and then
Mm-hmm.
like I think it's people are more apt to like probably socialize a little bit more, and like you invite people, and now they made a new friend or something, like
Yep.
so it's just like so now in the summer we're going to start, this will be our first week to kind of just start not try I don't want to say traveling, but we start switching up the spots, and like it's really nice to change up the route, and
And coming this summer again, it's again I'm gonna kind of revolve back to the start of the group and all that,
mm-hmm,
and you getting it going. We've done some demos like where we've
mm-hmm,
had brands come out with their
yeah,
shoes and try them out. It's like, did you ever expect that to be a part of the group too? Did you ever expect to maybe like we've had
honestly.
Carhu, we've had Adidas, we've
Honestly,
had
yeah, no, honestly, no. And
Asics was another one.
Asics was another one, so then another backstory off of that. There's just so many backstories that kind of just like evolved. But um, when it first kind of like it was started to become an idea, like I've always been one of those like back to like I'm kind of like I was like a loner kind of kid,
Hmm.
like I was in high school. But I always had like friends like back in the suburbs. Like I always had like all these friends, but they're all over the place. Like some people just have a group of friends where they're just immediate,
Yeah.
But I'm always like I have friends like all over the place. Like you go to Chicago and they're all over there, So yeah, kind of when we started, I had this idea of like, what if we bring these run clubs together and kind of just like make this big run, like So it kind of started like just as a brainstorm, and I started messaging all these run clubs like, hey, would you guys be interested in like doing a run together and whatever? And they're like, yeah, just let us know what time. And I'm like, well, what time, what day and time works for you? And it's really hard because like you ask somebody like, well, what day and time works for you, and now you got 20 different opinions, and you're like, I don't know. So then,
Trust me, I know.
right,
This is our third attempt to
right.
get this video going.
So I finally, ran. I never met him or anything, but I ran into my now friend Matt Chandler, who runs Blue Line Run Club. And I messaged him, and he kind of told me, he's like, I think he thought about the idea and he probably liked the idea, and just we kind of after that we met and started messaging back and forth. We never knew each other, and we back in February of 23 we hosted our first one of three. We called them our the Run Togethers. So Chicago. I mean, the first one we did was just it was to me was insane, kind of crazy to ever think like nobody knows me, nobody knows who Los Lobos are. Like how would they have even come out? And then same thing with Matt. Matt started to think a little bit. If I'm not mistaken, around the same time, kind of we did a little bit before that too. So it's these two run clubs kind of like hosting this like big event. Like I'm like it's kind of cold. It's in February. Like I think it was like the second or third week. Nobody's gonna show up. I mean, we pull up and shortly after. I want to say we had probably at least like 200 something runners. Like everyone just coming together, and it's in the winter. Like you're like, why are you guys here? Like but yeah, thank God you guys are here. So then that's where it kind of started there. And one of the girls I didn't know these people. Like at this time, you're like, yeah, did you see who was there? And I'm like, who? And then they're like, yeah, the guy with the hoodie. I mean, at that point he switched into a different hoodie. They're like, yeah, that's Kerry Pinkowski. And I'm like, I don't know who this guy is. Like, they're like, yeah, he's with the Chicago Marathon, and I'm like, hey, what? They're like, how did you get him to come on? I was like, I didn't. Like, he's just like, I think it's just the word spread. And, that's the day that I met Kerry Pinkowski and like Holly and the marketing team for like CM, which is like the Chicago Event Management, which is there. He's like the race director for Chicago Marathon, like I never thought that was the day that I was going to meet this guy, like, and now, I mean, they invite us to all these events. Like we're in the loop with CM, and it's been really cool. But anyways, like we did this event, and little by little, we wanted to do another one. So we did another one, and I wouldn't say I think it was in June that same year, and I started knowing some of the reps, like so we invited them, and like I don't know if anybody's ever done that, but again, I'm like one I like to include people.
Yeah.
Like I like to you're from here, let's bring you in. Like even at work, like I always like to introduce people, random people, and eventually they might become friends. Like so that's what I did. So I invited I invited Adidas and Nike and Under Armour and Asics and I wasn't invite Ultra and all these brands, and I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, is this even a good idea? Like, just one of those things where you think about it, But they came out and we had a blast. I mean, this was probably like in June. The weather was super crappy. I mean, at this point, Matt and I had already like had some sort of an idea. Matt's all analytics and stats, and he had the spreadsheet of everybody, like everything. Like we had it all in a spreadsheet. So that morning, we had an Eventbrite, like for people to register and stuff.
Yep.
But that morning of, like, we're like, man, like the weather's gonna be super crappy. Like it really is crappy. So we were up to probably like I think the count that morning we hit the 600. Like so we're like, oh my god, this is either gonna be like a total mess or like a total success. Like so same thing. It was like super windy. This was like in Montrose Harbor, like up there in the north side of Chicago. We show up and we're like, man, how everybody had their tents, like I felt bad for all these like brands, like I mean I really did, but there was nothing for me to do. I was like, you guys can seriously go home, like just go home, like seriously, like, you don't have to be here. But no, I mean shout out to all of them. They all stayed there. I mean there's videos on our Instagram page you can look up, but they were all there, and I think it's because of the community. Otherwise, they had no reason to be there. I didn't pay them. They don't get paid. Like it's just they had all these shoot demos for everybody to try on, and it was another amazing event. So ever since that event came up, and we later hosted our last one just the week after the Chicago Marathon. But back to like the shoe demos, that's where I think like kind of I started connecting with them, and they started coming out. And again, why would they come out to us? Like I'm thinking like we're not even big, like But I mean, we've done shoe demos with them, and all last year, and now we have pretty much they're all kind of scheduled for this year again. Like I just thought of like it's just pretty cool, like for the people that are having like a fall marathon, like you schedule them like in the late spring and early summer to kind of like before they start their long run cycles, to have some sort of a base and a good shoe, like for their long runs or their speed work, just to try them out. Because once you're in your long runs, for those that like their marathons, like you don't want to start switching up your shoes and like trying something new, like
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, for now, most of them are already scheduled, and you know, it's really a blessing to be able to pull these off, and they've all come out. So shout out to all of them that have come out to our little, you know, Rockford town out here. That
Yeah.
you know, our little run club out here. But you know, it's pretty cool, you know. So yeah.
So I guess kind of just to wrap up this journey that we've gone on, what kind of advice do you have for anyone kind of looking to start a group? Because again, it's like it's something where it's like I kind of wanted to sit down and talk with you and kind of get a background story of the group, but I also wanted to kind of I know there's so many people out there that are nervous to take the leap to go,
Right.
like, go the extra mile. Like I'm this podcast for me
Right.
itself. Like this is something where I just like one day woke up and was like, you know what?
Start
I'm
it.
gonna have fun. I'm not looking to make a
Right.
profit off of anything. I'm looking to just have fun and form the running community, especially being in like a smaller area. It's like I'm trying to tap into a small little community right now and get like the knowledge because there's so many people that are like wondering,
They're
can I
probably
do
in the same
this?
boat as you
Can I
are.
do this? Can I
Yeah,
do
right.
that?
Yeah.
It's like you at one point were like, can I do this? And you took the leap. So like what kind of advice do you have for those people that are kind of still in that phase where it's just sitting
Right.
there on a piece
Just
of
sitting
paper
there
or on a
on
phone?
their
Like,
notes app, like me,
yep.
like you know, on their iPhone. Yeah. Honestly, like you know, just if you want to do it, just do it. You know, just do it. Just remember why you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's don't let it be because you want to be sponsored. Don't let it be because you want free stuff. Don't let it be because it's just a matter of an idea that now it's like you want to be together with your friends, and just remember that, like, you know, just remember why you're doing it and who you're doing it for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether it's for yourself, like if that's your reason, that's totally fine. And props to you, because a lot of us, that's why I do it too. Like, you know, because if it hadn't been for this group, I probably wouldn't be running right now. Like, you know, I just think I ran track a little bit in middle school, and I just, after that, then I would just kind of ran by myself here and there. But if it wasn't because of this, I wouldn't be running. Like, you know, so it's remember why you're doing it and just grow from that. Like, it's like, you know, whether your club is 5 people, 10 people, 50 people, 100 people, like just have that genuine relationship with your club. Like, you know, just don't do it for the numbers. You know, I'm always about quality versus quantity.
Yep.
Like, you know, I just like make it a good time for whoever's there for you. You know, make it welcoming. And whether, I mean, to successful, it means different things to many people. Like, you know, just to have it be a success for you and keep going from that. Like, you know, like I said, it's really hard. I will tell you, it's very hard. It's not easy. You're gonna bump into situations, just obstacles that, you know, just you're gonna be uncomfortable at certain times. But if you know, now that when you ask me like why I do this, and now I see back and reflect and see like just the Quad Cities, like we had 20 people like just out there running for us, like, you know, simple example like
Mm-hmm.
that. But now I think back and I kind of like I remember why I do it and why I keep like doing what I'm doing. Like it's just like, you know, so just yeah, so just as simple as that. Just do it for you, for whoever you're doing it, and just never forget that reason.
Yeah,
You know? So
it may go as far as what this
yeah,
group has gone.
yeah,
It could not gonna don't want to jinx anyone. It could crash and burn,
yeah,
but
it could. Yeah,
it's like that's the thing. It's
yeah,
like businesses like are
yeah,
going. It was like each year, it's like the number of businesses that fail just in the next like in 3 years increases and then it
yeah,
increases. It's like you got to just
yeah,
take like the leap. It's like if you want to do it, you got to
yeah,
go for it. It's like
yeah,
you can't be like, well, what if I did this?
yeah.
It's like you won't know unless you do
Yeah, you gotta dig deep in
it.
there,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll find your why. You know, you'll find your why, and if you don't know it, yeah, like I said, with me, I didn't know my why. I'm like, I just want to do this, and like, let's start it. But you know, eventually, like I said, I didn't know it, but I think I found my why. Like, you know, and I see my why every Thursday, every time people post on the group, every time somebody wears a shirt. Like I remember that why. You know, so but yeah.
All right. Well, I think that kind of wraps up this episode
Yeah.
of Running the Extra Mile. Thank you again, Fed, for finally being able to get this
I
again.
know.
Like it's like you're gonna run into obstacles. Me and
Yeah.
him ran into two sicknesses,
Yep.
like him getting sick twice,
Just
where
the
we couldn't do it,
differences.
but we still
Yeah.
managed to get it. It's
Yeah.
like you're gonna bump into obstacles,
Yep. Well,
but
shout out to you, Miles. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for being part of the
yeah.
club and being so welcoming with everybody and bringing that, you know, personality to the group, because it's what shapes the group. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So, but
Yeah, make sure to check out Los Lobos on social media. I'll make sure to link them in the description and stuff that. Make sure to like and subscribe to this video and check me out on social media to keep
Check out the
updated on this
singlets,
stuff.
like out there, we'll be out there,
Yep,
like,
stuff will be like that, and
yeah.
like make sure it's like if you want to join the pack, it's join the pack. We're welcoming, as you can tell. It's like we're out here just having fun. But in the meantime, I'll catch you guys in the next episode.
Yep. See
Bye.
you later.